Hey y'all, welcome back to the Black Coffee and Tea podcast. You guys, I just saw an interview from a young lady named Alexis Taylor, and this story, I hadn't heard of it before until her interview came up on my feed, and she basically recounts how she had to escape her mother's estranged boyfriend after he lost control and stabbed her. He tried to kill her entire family. He did end up killing her mother and her brother, but she escaped, and her younger sister, who was 8 years old, survived. So this young lady, only 16 years old, Alexis, she has so much bravery to tell this story. Her full interview is everywhere online. I'm going to play some clips of it in a bit, but you guys, this story was just heartbreaking. I'm just so tired of the domestic violence, and this is what can happen to your children if you do not get out of dangerous situations. So let's get into the story.
16-year-old was stabbed during a brutal knife attack Monday in Antioch.
That very same attack killed her mother and her younger brother. News Channel 5's Sina Saleem tells us family are doing whatever they can to support the teen.
I'm very angry. I'm very angry because he took my family for no reason.
Family of Mayra Garcia are at a loss.
Oh, it was awful. I was in disbelief.
Police say Mayra's estranged boyfriend, Jermaine A.G., kicked down the door to their Antioch home early Monday morning and stabbed her son, 13-year-old Jaden, to death in his bedroom. We're told Mayra and her 16-year-old daughter, Alexis, were then stabbed after A.G. allegedly gathered the family in the living room and told Mayra to kill her 8-year-old daughter, but she refused. Police say that's when Alexis fought back and Mayra intervened. During the scuffle, Mayra ran out of the house, but A.G. reportedly chased after her, stabbing and killing the mother of 3.
There's nothing we would not do for our kids. If it was between her saving her kids, she did exactly what I would have thought she would have did. She would have gone out with a fight. I couldn't have imagined it happening any other way.
Tanisha Stevens knew Mayra since Mayra was 16 years old. They met in Chicago when Mayra dated and eventually married Tanisha's cousin. Even after they got divorced, they still all considered each other family.
Her and my daughter are 2 months apart, but they're like sisters. They've grown up together. That is her best friend, and right now she's scared because her best friend is in the hospital.
A mother and her 13-year-old son dead, and we now know the alleged attacker was already wanted on domestic violence charges.
News Channel 5 is committed to reporting on crime that affects your community and ways to stop it. Our Alexandra Cohen spoke to experts about how to get help if you or someone you love needs to get out of a dangerous relationship.
Yesterday, Jermaine A.G. was arrested for allegedly killing his estranged ex-girlfriend, Mayra Garcia, and her 13-year-old son, Jaden Taylor, in a brutal knife attack. He's also been charged with critically stabbing Garcia's 16-year-old daughter, all while an 8-year-old watched. At the time of the attack, Garcia had an order of protection against A.G., and he was wanted for domestic assault.
So unfortunately, you guys, this young mother and her youngest son lost their lives at the hands of a crazy ex-boyfriend. Okay, Jermaine, you're sick, you're disgusting. And honestly, just from those news clips, I didn't think it could get any worse until I actually heard this young lady's story.
The couch, it was me and my mom sitting on the couch. And I was just looking at the door. I told her, because he was across the room sitting on the couch. I told her, I said, Mom, we need to leave right now. We need to run. If we don't, we're just gonna die. And I don't know if she knew she was gonna die, but she wouldn't listen. She was like, Jermaine, let's just talk about it. He was like, no, there's nothing to talk about. He was like, who wants to die first? As a matter of fact, Mayra, I'm finna have you kill your daughter. I'm finna have you kill KK. That's when KK started crying. She was like, I'm too young. And that's when he asked again he got like close to us. He was standing in front of us while we were sitting down. He hit my mom again. And he just started striking me with the knife. At that point, I was so fed up. I just started fighting him. I was kicking him. I was screaming, and he fell on the ground. He fell on the ground, and my mom ran out the front door, and he ran out to go get her because, if anything, he wanted my mom to die before any of us. He wanted my mom to die. He just had anger with Jaden. I don't know why he had the nerve to kill Jaden like that, because Jaden had nothing to do with anything. But he ran out. I saw my mom run out the front door, and I just ran up the street, and I kept looking back. My mom had fell in the middle of the street as well, and he just started stabbing her in the back, and she was screaming, but I couldn't go back. I knew if I would have went back, I would have been dead too. So I hurried up and I went to the first house up the street. They didn't answer. I looked back again, he's still stabbing her. So I go to the next house, and I'm ringing the doorbell. I'm continuously ringing the doorbell. They're not answering. So as soon as he took the car, I saw him in my mom's car. He drove past by me. And after he drove past by me, I just started screaming. I just started banging on the door. And finally they answered, and I just ran in the house and sat down. I told them they need to call 911 and send an ambulance to my house. I told them I'm bleeding. They asked what happened. I said, this man was trying to kill us. And I kept telling them, I said, I think my brother's dead. At that point, I knew he was gone. He couldn't breathe. And that's when the wife, she was covering my wound, and the father was on the phone with the police. The police were asking so many questions, and I was just bleeding out. I was so angry. I said, can y'all just please send an ambulance to my house and to me? And they just kept asking questions. At that point, they stayed on the phone, and I was sitting down, and it took the ambulance a little while to get there, to be honest. I thought they weren't gonna come, but they finally came. They had cut my shirt, and they put me on the stretcher. When I got to the hospital, I kept asking everybody. I said, "Where's my siblings? Where's my mom?" They told me KK was in the hospital. They said they were gonna find out where my mom and Jaden were. They never came back. So now, I don't know whether they're dead or not, because nobody wouldn't tell me anything. I said, did they even send an ambulance to the house in time? He was just, I know why he was mad at me. It was because I wouldn't let him in. Every time he came to the front of the house and he'd talk to me through the mirror, through the window, and say, "Alexis, let me in. Alexis, open the door." I'd be like, no. My mom told me I can't, so I'm not going to. One time he got in the house and he was staring at me while I was doing my hair. I was literally just doing my hair, and I looked and he was sitting on the stairs just staring at me. I said, you need to leave. He seen me walk back to my phone, and he was like, please don't call the police, please don't call the police. I said, I'm not calling the police, I'm calling my mom because you need to leave. So he said, I'm finna leave. I said, no, you need to leave right now. He wouldn't listen, so I called my mom, and while she was on the phone, he was like doing, how do you call it? He was trying to like make signals, like to tell me to lie to her and tell her he wasn't there. But I told her the truth. He was like, Alexis, can you make me a sandwich? Go make me a sandwich real quick. This was, I believe, the third or second time she had kicked him out. This was before the abuse that I knew of with my mom. This is before all that.
So were they on and off?
Yeah. He was like, go make me a sandwich. I said no. He said, all right. He said, I got you, I got you. And he told my sister to go make him a sandwich. My sister didn't know no better, so, you know, she went and grabbed the mayo. I told her to put it down. I said, Jermaine, you need to leave. So as soon as my mom pulled up, he got out the front door. And she came inside and she called the police. We had the baby. It was my cousin's daughter. We call her Pebbles. And he tried touching her. He tried touching her on her head. And I was like, dude, you gotta go. You don't know this child and you're trying to touch her. You're not supposed to be here. I said, you gotta leave. So he left, and my mom, every time my mom called the police, Jermaine would run off and would never get caught. It's like the police didn't at least try to go find him, because he didn't go that far. He doesn't have a car, he doesn't have family, he doesn't have none of that. And it's like, so every time she'd call the police, nothing would happen, he'd just come back.
Y'all, my heart honestly just breaks for this young girl. Alexis, you are a real life superhero, girl. Like, honestly, truly. Y'all have to go look up her interview. It was over 30 minutes long, but she even goes into more details of how she knew this man wasn't good for her mom. She begged her mom to stop seeing him, but unfortunately her mom was just, you know, into letting him back into the picture. And unfortunately she lost her life, and her youngest son lost his life as well. It was extreme violence. It was extreme violence and hate that this man, Jermaine, this demon, I'm not even gonna call him a man, he's a demon, for him to do this to this woman and her children is ridiculous. And what makes it worse, y'all, is that, you know, they actually did have a good father in their life. Their dad actually gave an interview how he just wishes he could have protected his kids. But Alexis even said that, you know, their mom made them swear to secrecy and to not tell their dad about the issues that the boyfriend was bringing the family.
Well, her father, Lewis Taylor, telling us that his daughter, Alexis, is a fighter. He was walking her around the halls here at Children's Vanderbilt Hospital earlier today, and he says she's getting stronger by the day, but he credits her bravery in saving her life as well as her younger sister's.
He's a monster. Like I told everybody, he's a monster. How can you kill a kid?
Those are the words of a grieving father.
He stabbed my son, killed him first.
Lewis Taylor woke up to the hardest news of his life. His ex-wife, Mayra Garcia, and his children were brutally stabbed.
He went for my son first. My son was sleeping in the basement in his room. He's got a room down there. He never seen it coming.
Taylor says his oldest daughter told him Garcia's ex-boyfriend, Jermaine Ajee, kicked in the door to their home, armed with a knife, on a rampage.
This should have never happened.
Police say Ajee stabbed 13-year-old Jaden and Garcia to death Monday morning. He's also accused of stabbing 16-year-old daughter Alexis 5 times at the family's Antioch home.
Made him walk to the front row, and then they asked about my son, Jaden. And he said he killed Jaden already. And that everybody else is gonna die. It makes me mad. It makes me really mad. I'm really mad. Really. I don't know. Ain't no words to explain it.
Alexis was able to escape and get help.
I never had this happen. I don't know how to move forward. All I know is take it day by day. That's all you can do. That's all I can do.
Y'all, this is just so heartbreaking. I feel so bad for that father, man. You know, it's tough when you're not living in the household with your children. It's just a sad situation. I urge all fathers, you know, even if it is a difficult situation in the living arrangements and the communication, be involved in your kid's life as much as possible. This father seemed like he was, but maybe he needs to do more, like unexpected drop-bys or question his kids about the men that his mother was seeing. I'm not putting blame on anyone here. I just feel like the kids were just purely innocent in this situation, and it's just terrible that a domestic violence case like this went as far as to kill these innocent children. So you guys just pay more attention. You know, this fucking demon had no right to take away these kids' lives, and honestly, He had no money, he had no job, he had nothing to lose. And this lady, this mother, bless her heart, rest in peace, she brought this man into the life of her and her children. I know it's tough to get out of a domestic violence situation. Tough isn't even the word. But at the end of the day, especially if you have children, there are far worse things than being alone in this world. And you just cannot let any and everyone into your life, and especially your children's life. All right. I don't want to place blame, but in future, as we move on in the future, I want less of these cases to happen. I want women to take more protection over their homes and over their families and over their environments, and be careful who you allow to come into your life. All right. Totally unfortunate situation. God bless Alexis. I hope she is given enough healing from God and enough therapy to really, really persevere, because it's going to be a hard road for her ahead. This whole family has been just through a traumatic incident, and I just pray for their peace and their healing. All right. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, and also check out our podcast, Black Coffee and Tea Podcast, available now, all streaming platforms. Talk to you later.